Hey everybody. Yes, indeed. Look who's back. Look who's back. Look who's back again. For those, it's been a long time. Been a long time since I've been on here on Facebook, as well as today we should be streaming on YouTube and LinkedIn. I hope we're on those. So YouTube and LinkedIn, Facebook. Coming up, I'm going to try Instagram in the next couple of weeks. So for those that are joining, hi, hi. My name is Frank Ferragini, aka Frankie Flowers. I'm a four-time best-selling garden author. I spent many years on television, not only telling and forecasting the weather, but also giving garden advice. Currently, right now, if you're wondering what I'm doing, I am back in my family business. Pleased to be there as well. Bradford Greenhouses. We have two locations, one in Bradford, one in Barrie. And I am there exploring the world of plants. And I'm here tonight to try to help you with your plants and also help you grow better gardens both indoors and out. And also maybe just to inspire you to get into the world of gardening, maybe just get out there and to try some things and even just put some plants or even just some fresh flowers into your life, because I'll tell you, fresh flowers add so much to every day. If you have a question, and if you do indeed have a question, what I would love you to do is to go in the comments of this current live stream. And if you type in those comments, what I'll be able to do is to see your question in the comments, and I'll be able to answer it live right here on this stream for this evening. So a couple things that I want to talk to you about. Goal of doing this Facebook Live, of course, as I said, let's get some more garden knowledge out there. Let's share information. If you have tips, if you have tricks, anything that we can share together, we can actually create some better things. We can join some time. We can actually talk about something we love, and that is indeed plants. And as we progress and move forward over time as well, what I'll be able to do is to share some photos, maybe bring some friends on as well. Speaking of friends, I want to give a shout out to the first one that's out there in the comments today, and that is Jen. Great to hear and see you again, Frankie. Welcome back. Thank you for all you do for us. Well, thank you for what you do for me, which is also is the support over the years as well. So, a couple things. Number one, events coming up tomorrow. If you are in the landscape industry and if you didn't go to the Landscape Ontario Congress show today, that is a trade show. Tomorrow morning, if you are in the garden center industry, tomorrow morning I'll be doing a talk at 9:30 in the morning at Landscape Ontario's Congress, and we'll be talking a little bit about the experience in garden centers. And I want you to think a little bit more like Disney. Also, coming up, the National Home Show. I'll be there as well, speaking at the National Home Show. I have several different horticultural societies that I'll be visiting over the spring months. Of course, you can come see me either at our Bradford or Barrie locations. We have many events that we have there as well. And there's also a really great event that if you want to be a part of, it's a big event. It's a big thing. And that big thing, of course, is coming up in June. I'll be doing another river cruise where I'll be hosting another river cruise, which will be from Paris to Normandy. So what's really cool about this river cruise overall, sorry about that. Really great event that I had to turn my, this is me listening to myself over here. What's really good about that river cruise from Paris to Normandy is we're going to be visiting the gardens of Monet, but as well, what we'll be doing is going to the beaches in Normandy. So while we can actually talk a little bit about what gardens we love, flowers and other things, we also pay tribute to some of the war history that we have here in Canada as well. We got some other shout outs today as well. Judy, great to see you as well. Judy, hey, nice to see you. We have Mitch out there. Great to see you again as well. We got Debbie, and Debbie just giving a shout out, not a question, but glad you're back. We have Carolyn as well, which is saying so happy to have you back as well. And then we got Janice. Hey, Janice, nice to see you as well. Glad you're back. So, a couple other things. What have I been up to? So, yes, indeed. At the end of May 2025, I decided to take that little walk away from breakfast television and get more sleep, which indeed I have done. But as well, the whole goal of me, number one, stepping away from breakfast television, number one goal was while my kids are still, even though they're teenagers, still, it's really nice to spend some mornings with them. And that morning, I have to tell you, is such a vital time. Morning is a beautiful time. I'm a morning person, but morning time in a household is a time that I missed for over 20 years. And I'm super happy to be back doing that. Number two, I wanted to really dive back into my family business on a more focused level to not only support my family, but also my father as well, who's 82. And at the same token, I wanted to have a goal. My goal was to bring some ways that we could actually incorporate some innovation and also show people what happens in the world of plants. So this entire summer, I spent the entire previous summer, forgive me, touring different plant trials from really all over North America, from the United States, from as far south as Georgia. I was also in Michigan, as well as I toured different plant trials here. And a plant trial is indeed a test. The reason why I toured those plant trials was also to look for great plant varieties and try to see what we could bring for you at home. But as well, what we were trying to accomplish is to see what these trials are doing, because not next year, but the year after, I have a goal of creating a plant trial that consumers just like you that can come and see. So we can take a look at new varieties, we can see what works best in your garden, and then what I would love to do is to have you vote on them. So those are some big things that I'm working on right now as well. What else did I say? Oh, Austria. I was in Austria as well for my son's training. Just let you know, if you're going to be joining me next Tuesday, as long as we're going to be working well on Wi-Fi, next Tuesday evening, I will be in Sun Peaks, BC, because my son's competing in British Columbia next week. He is one of those crazy acrobatic freestyle skiers, so we'll be competing there next week. So hopefully we'll be there as well. So a couple things. I want to give some shout out to the people that are just saying hello from us. We got Mary from Collingwood here. Hello to see you as well. Mary, thanks for joining us. Joanne, happy to see you. Makes me hopeful spring is coming. I got to tell you, yes, indeed, spring is coming. Right now at the greenhouse, we are in full production of seed. And I don't want you to start your seeds yet at home because it's a little bit early for you. But for us right now, we are fully, right now, violas, pansies. We're doing some different perennials right now, even some of the lavender varieties we're doing. And we're receiving tons of cuttings right now from all over the world. Cuttings come all the way from South Africa. We'll have some cuttings that come in from Israel. We actually have some cuttings that come in from Guatemala, Costa Rica, and all those cuttings actually make their way towards the airport. And we need to make sure that customs gets them through quick enough so that we can root them. And by rooting them, and then we'll grow them on. And if you're asking, well, why are you getting them from all over these different places? Well, that's where some of those actually come from. Exactly. But as well, a lot of these have royalties on them. So some of the cuttings that we purchase, there is the COPF, the Canadian Ornamental Plant Foundation. I think that's what it is, COPF. And they come in and they inspect our greenhouses to make sure that we're actually not stealing plants and that we're paying royalties on all the plants. I just got a little shout out there that just said, Heidi just said, and Heidi, I know Heidi very well. Heidi, Austria is an amazing country. What did I learn from Austria? What I learned from Austria is their affinity to putting plants at entranceways in small pots. Every entranceway had a different selection of small pots, mainly Erica, which is heather, in a beautiful arrangement just as a welcome. And there's nothing that actually says welcome to your home more than actually having a container, or even just not even a container. Sometimes there was different statuary that was there, and maybe a couple plants were incorporated, but just to welcome people in your home. And Austria as well smells like manure because everywhere they're spreading manure. But I will tell you as well, the reason why I was in Austria, my son was training in Austria at Hintertux, which is a glacier. And it took like 3 gondolas to get up and then a chairlift, 40 minutes to get up the hill. And this guy was scared. This guy was scared. We got Judy, which is saying hello today from Ottawa as well. We got Bill Kennedy. Bill, my good friend Bill, utterly smooth. Bill Kennedy. This gentleman joins all the time. Family business. If you guys are looking for a really good moisturizing hand cream, utterly smooth. If you're wondering if there's people behind it, he's one of the people that's behind it there. We got Johnny Lawler out there. Happy New Year, Frankie. I pulled out my arrow garden and want to plant cherry tomatoes. Can I plant regular cherry tomatoes, or do they have to be the dwarf variety? My recommendation for that, if you're wondering, for those who are wondering, what the heck is an arrow garden? An arrow garden is a tabletop growing device that's aquaponics, meaning that it actually is grown in water where there's actually oxygen that's pumped in the water with a lighting system. Because at this time of the year, with the shortness of daylight hours that we have and the very limited daylight hours we have to light plants. And with lighting plants, we need not just a regular light bulb, we need a full spectrum light bulb. I would recommend to use a dwarf variety of cherry tomatoes for that, because the other varieties of cherry tomatoes will be a vine type and that will just get too big. Also, with a dwarf variety of cherry tomatoes, they'll actually be able to produce a tomato at a little bit of a quicker time period overall. If you're looking for a really good variety to grow in that arrow garden, and maybe you're not buying the pods themselves, you can buy other pods and get your own seeds, then what I would recommend using is a variety called Tiny Tim, or a similar variety to Tiny Tim, which is a dwarf variety. We got a shout out here from a place that we would all love to be right now. Well, it depends. If you want the sun out there, Suzanne, hello from Mexico. I remember meeting you in Barrie over 15 years ago. I still look the same, don't I? I try to. We got a shout out today as well from Chris. Hello from Muskoka as well. I'm just going to scoot back because we got a lot just in a little short time there as well. So I'm just going to take a look at some of the other questions. Here is a question from Shirley. What do you have to get a Hoya plant to flower? Mother's tongue, you had called it. So a Hoya plant, what I showed is, if you're looking at in my Instagram and different things today, what I showed as plant of the week was Sansevieria. So that's Sansevieria. This is snake plant. Snake plant is not a Hoya plant. So snake plant is Sansevieria. There's many different varieties. This is a plant that actually is incredibly drought tolerant, will grow in many areas, and really hard to kill. Really hard to kill. So it's a really good plant for those out there. Hoya plant generally has a little bit more of, it's more of I would call it more of almost a fleshy succulent type leaf overall, rounded in form. Hoyas, if you're trying to get your Hoya to bloom, often what they need to do is to be fairly well rooted or pot bound. So once they become rooted in there, that'll actually stress the plant of the Hoya out a bit. By stressing that plant out, allowing it to dry out into water from watering, it'll actually then set and make it go into flower as well. So first off, is it a Sansevieria? Because Sansevieria over time, as the plant gets older, can put a bloom out as well, but it's fairly rare to put a bloom out. This is a plant that you don't really are wanting or willing or waiting for a bloom, but it can put a bloom, and it is a little bit fragrant out there as well. Question is Bradford Greenhouse currently on winter break? If you're wondering why our stores right now, if they're not open for business, and if you're wondering why Bradford Greenhouses, Barrie and Bradford are not open for business, is this the time of year where we do inventory. Exciting. Not. We got Lene. I got to tell you, shout out to Lene from Sault Ste. Marie. Lene is a good friend of mine. Lene, for several years, operated the garden center up at Canadian Tire in Sault Ste. Marie. And the amount of plants that Lene would actually sell out of that garden center, and the amount of plants that people in Sault Ste. Marie love is unbelievable. Sault Ste. Marie, you would think up there in northern Ontario, they love their plants. They don't like fiber pots. They don't. They like usually a plastic pot. There's, like the thing when you, as a family business, in our family business, we have 2 garden centers, but as well, what a lot of people don't know is we actually grow young plants, which are, we propagate like little baby seedlings, as well as we root cuttings for other greenhouse growers so that they don't actually have to start their greenhouses too early. We'll get their baby plants ready. So when they're ready to put them into a 4-inch pot or a bigger size pot, they can then heat their greenhouse, saves them money. And we actually have the facilities, and we're really good. We're actually really good at propagating plants. That's the one thing we're really good at, propagating the seeds, and we're really good at rooting cuttings as well. But also what we do is we actually sell to other garden centers. And what you learn is the interests of people. So you learn that in downtown Toronto, where people love white, they love a white sun patient, and they love that with a nice dusty Miller, and they love different variations of white perennials, where Northern Ontario, white is not the biggest seller, because in Northern Ontario, they get snow all winter. And they're like, why the hell would I want to see white all summer? Where in Toronto, they're like, I need to be pure. I need to be pure here because there's not a lot of purity sometimes in Toronto. I'm joking. That's just me joking overall there as well. We got Mary Stewart saying hello today as well, which is saying cool out there as well. We got a shout out to Burlington. Just a little bit of other things that I've been up to as well. I'm currently, and I have been, working with Royal Botanical Gardens, and RBG is a fantastic place. Recently, we had Winter Wonders, which is an amazing, amazing display of lights coming up as well. You're going to see Alice in Bloomland there. But what I'm working on is really we have a 20-year plan. It's actually a 25-year plan. And we're working on improving the garden spaces there, building a better children's garden there, actually building a market garden there where we could grow food, have farmers markets. The plan that we have there is really great. If you want to find out more about it, please email me, frankie@frankieflowers.com. If by chance you know anybody that wants to donate to help build this thing, just let me know. Let me know. We got a hello out there from Ancaster as well. Ancaster, beautiful area. Dundas, Ontario, not far from Ancaster, the home to the Cactus Festival. If you're wondering why it's the home to the Cactus Festival, one of Ontario's largest cactus growers was based in Dundas, Ontario. No longer, but still, they still have the Cactus Festival that's there. We got Penny, and Penny's saying, Happy New Year, Frankie. I have not heard from you in a while. It's always wonderful to hear about all these fabulous plants. You know, coming up on my next Facebook Live today, I just really want to do a little bit of an introduction, just chat a little bit with you guys. And then the next one, what I'll do is I'll show you some of the wonderful plants that I actually found at some of these plant trials over the last several weeks as well. We got another shout out there from Ottawa as well. Maybe that was the same one. I'm going to scroll down here a bit just to make sure that we're playing up to as well. White accent plants. White accents are all perennials. White accent, all perennial. Heidi Lambert wants to know. So if you're looking for perennial plants, so just for those, and sometimes what we do is we have people that join us on this live that are brand new to gardening. And if you are, I don't want you to be intimidated. Who's killed the plant? I killed a plant. Hey, all you guys watching right now, if you killed a plant, put up your hand. For those that never put up their hand, that didn't put up their hand, you're a liar. Because if you ever grown a plant, you killed the plant. So first off, if you're new to gardening, don't worry. There's going to be some successes, some challenge. And just remember, when we kill a plant, we put it in the compost pile. It's like the recycling bin, back in the circle of life. Perennials. Perennials are plants that are zone hardy, meaning that they can tolerate the winters and summers that will be able that they'll come back year after year. Where an annual is something that will not tolerate the winter and needs to be replanted. Perennials that are white, first off, that I would have a question for is whether it's for sun or for shade. Because in order for us to have a successful garden, we want to pick the right plant for the right place. First criteria for that is knowing what type of sunlight you have. If you have shade and we're thinking about something that's white, well, what I would do is there is some of the astilbes. There's astilbe Sprite, which has a beautiful white flower that will flower in shade, which is fantastic. That's overall. Depending upon your zone as well, if it was for sun, we do Agara, or what we do for sun, white, Becky, Shasta Daisy Becky. Wonderful plant that's overall as well. But if let's say it's for sun, and we wanted to add in some punches of annuals as well, because remember, I always like to design a garden that always has interest in it. And while perennials, they're great because they're going to come back year after year after year. Many perennials actually have shorter bloom periods. So let's say a perennial that we want to use for sun is a beautiful white peony. Unbelievable, big bloom. When it's in bloom, you're like, this is the best. But then all of a sudden, all summer, nothing. So that's what sometimes we want to put some annuals in because they give a little bit of longer periods of bloom. So let's say that we were to do that white peony, beautiful. Then what we would do is behind it, put maybe a white dahlia, and that white dahlia would really perform for you as well overall. It's my dog barking. We're just going to ignore him. That's Bentley. If he poos, then I'll have to clean it up later. That's okay. Okay, next up. Have you ever grown lemon trees, bushes? Any tips? LOL. So Lisa, yes, as a matter of fact, if you were to go up to our berry location, you'll actually see there's not a lemon tree there, but the same is citrus. We actually have a clementine tree up there that this year we had really a big bucket of clementines that we got off it. But the thing about that environment there is that that's a greenhouse where we're actually having more light units that get into the greenhouse overall. As well, that greenhouse goes through a period where it cools down. So there's a period where that citrus would go underneath a little bit of somewhat of a dormancy. And that's the thing with citrus. You'll see that you're going to see citrus in areas where it's a warm temperature all the time, but there are periods where it cools down. So like Florida and even in some of the areas of Italy where you see those lemons. So the key with lemon is you need to make sure that it's in a west or south facing room. It needs to be in a room where the temperature difference drops by about 10 degrees at night. That really will be helpful for it overall. The other aspect with that too is allowing it to dry in between watering, really key. And the other part too is to always watch to see if there's any stickiness on the leaves. If you start to see stickiness on the leaves, that could be an indication of an insect. And often what that could be is mealybug. So anytime you see stickiness on the leaves, what you would want to do is do a little bit of a spraying of an insecticidal soap. So can you grow lemons indoors? Yes, indeed. There are specific varieties that you can grow indoors. Bradford greenhouses carry some. If you live in the Markham area as well, Valley View. If you want to go to Valley View right now probably has a bunch of kumquats in, and that sounds like a naughty word, but it's not. They're actually a small citrus, and if you're going to maybe try growing citrus, I would start with a kumquat overall anything else, and if you can do that, then I would then venture over and do those guys there. We got a question here from Carol. Why are plants so expensive? Blew my mind last summer buying flowers. So why is everything expensive right now? Let's break it down for you. So we'll break it down in terms of number one, labor. Okay, so a lot of the plants, if you think that a plant every day needs to be watered, so that means every day there's a touch point where a person or something has to water that plant while it's growing. Number two, many plants that we have out there, as I said, have royalties. So there's a cost that's in the royalty. Some plants, if they take a long grow time, what that means is by the time they're a seed to when they're ready for sale, let's say that's 6 months. It's not like it's just a pen that they can make and then sell. So there's a lot more work that goes in there. There's shipping costs that go in, the soil itself, the plastic pot that it's in that goes within. So there's a lot of little elements that go in that build up to the cost of the plant. However, that plant, if it's a perennial, comes back year after year after year. So that initial cost is actually broken down over time. If it's an annual plant, it's going to give you more joy than a bottle of wine and less hangover and better for your health. So it depends. There are some plants out there that are quite affordable. Many of the herb plants, vegetable plants are really affordable. And if we're looking to save money on plants, you can always buy your plants later in the season. So as soon as we start to get into later spring, early summer, you'll notice that plant prices start to discount because the demand goes down for them. And then at the end of the fall period, as many garden centers and even retailers want to get rid of some of their stock, there's discounts to be had at that time. And late fall is a fantastic time to plant. The other aspect too, if you're looking to save money on plants, you can do seed collections. If you have friends that have large perennial gardens, go steal some of their plants or ask them to take some of their plants. And then also you can do propagation through just doing some rooting of some of the stems that are out there as well. So there's many ways that you can save out there. And I love this too. Lene even commented on me. Haha, fiber pots. I love different mossy pots, but our community loves their plastic. It's like Sault Ste. Marie. This is so funny. In areas like Burlington, Oakville, downtown Toronto, Port Hope, they want a nice mossy pot, very beautiful, and I love them. Like I love that kind of really earthy, beautiful look. But in Sault Ste. Marie, they want a plastic pot. Regional. Everybody has different interests. In our province of Ontario, guys, if you ever take a chance to take a look at the province of Ontario, it is massive. So we can never assume that somebody up in Thunder Bay likes the same color or the same thing that somebody in Windsor, Ontario likes, because there's so much variation and so much difference. If you were to look in Italy, if you look at what they eat in Italy, in northern Italy, which is all polenta, and if you were to go to southern Italy, people in southern Italy, you go, what's the hell's polenta? They don't even know what polenta is in there. We got Warren here, which is saying to us this evening. Great to see you, Frank. Watching from Oshawa, the Choiset. I got lots of friends that live in Oshawa. Great hockey town as well. Great town also too. That a lot of people out there have put a lot of effort into the automotive industry. Crazy time right now in the world, guys. Crazy time. That's why I want to talk about plants. Let's talk about joy. Penny, happy New Year. Happy New Year. All the best. It's great to see you again. Great to see you as well. And for all of those, hey, happy New Year 2026. It's like last year was supposed to be the year of the snake. If I don't know if you know this. So that's where it's supposed to shed, and we're supposed to shed all this bad energy. This is the year of the horse. So let's kind of gallop through this year. And also let's use some of that horse manure to grow good things in as well. We got Susan, which is saying this evening, good evening, welcome back. Will you be speaking at the home show this year? So I will be speaking at the Toronto home show this year. Yes, indeed. The Barrie home show, right now I'm just trying to determine my schedule. I'm So I don't know as of yet whether I'll be doing the Barrie Home Show. Barrie Woman Show is coming up as well, which is on the weekend of January the 22nd, 23rd. If you are up in the Barrie area, it's hosted at Bradford Greenhouse, my family business, but it is a fantastic women's show. If you want to come up there, I won't be presenting there, but I will be there for a period of time as well. That is amazing. From Niagara Falls. Brenda, how are you? Uh, oh, I love the Royal Botanical Gardens. I'm going to tell you, the Royal Botanical Gardens is like this perfect gem. And if you are in the area of Halton, or if you even want to do a day trip, even in the winter, there's this wonderful little train set that's there that the kids are going to enjoy. Beautiful indoor plants, great place to escape winter. But also in the summer, if you're thinking about going to Royal Botanical Gardens in the summer, the Rose Garden's fantastic. But what's really cool about the Rose Garden is there's a little tea house. So you can go there and do a high tea, go through the Rose Gardens. Wonderful for pictures, wonderful for education, lots of hiking area as well. So if you like plants, if you like food, if you like people, go to the Royal Botanical Gardens. It's just a wonderful gem, and that's why I'm a part of it as well. We got Paula. Happy New Year, Frankie and family from Bradford. Nice to see you there as well. We got, hey, Arnprior. We got Marianne from Arnprior. Arnprior, if you're wondering where that is, just outside of Ottawa, Ontario. Another area that I've actually delivered plants to as well. Your Canadian Tire and Arnprior as well. Beautiful, beautiful little area there too. Not too far from whitewater rafting as well. Lots of people in the Ottawa Valley love their plants. Like the Ottawa Valley is a big area for gardening. I can tell you which areas of the province of Ontario are really into gardening. And in Toronto right now, it seems like the love and affection for plants has so much diminished. And you know what I'm seeing, and this is a concern to not a concern to me, but I would love your help. What I would love your help on is I'm going through a lot of residential areas now in spring and summer, and I'm seeing a lot of people out there. And I know maybe this is an investment thing in terms of what people have for resources, but I also want to make sure that if we have some new neighbors that are new to this country, and maybe in their previous country didn't have the ability or knowledge to actually even have a property, if you can share the advice or even help them with their plants or help them with their gardens or not make it intimidating for them, because what I'm seeing is pride of ownership of a lot of the properties surrounding Ontario now is diminishing. And that may be that people just don't have money, but it would be wonderful if we could actually support each other out there. And if there are some people out there having some difficulties with maintaining and doing things with their properties, I work with Landscape Ontario, and there might be a way. I don't know if there is a way, but sometimes I can always try to figure out a way. If I can't figure out a way, I'll find somebody, but I'll try my best. That's all I'll say. Hi, Frankie. Hey, how you doing out there as well? We got another point here, and this is from Heidi. My point wasn't to use white annuals to accent. Oh, my point was I use white annuals to accent my perennials. Well, Heidi, that's great. And this is the other part too. I want to tell you a little, and thank Heidi, because this brings up something as well. The nice thing about white annuals is they reflect light. And you're probably saying, well, why is that important? Well, white annuals or even white flowering plants that actually are not daylight sensitive, meaning they close at night. That's a daylight sensitive plant, closes at night. If they're something that's in bloom at night, it's a beautiful thing for the evening garden because white will reflect light. You can notice how snow looks just so much brighter at night and how it kind of brightens up areas because it reflects the light. So white perennials, if we're going to be using white annuals to accent among even some of your dark foliage of perennials, super sexy, beautiful, and really nice for the night garden as well. We got Sally, which is saying some interesting citrus info out there as well. We got Cheryl. Hey, Cheryl from Bradford. Mayor, nice to see you as well. From Brantford as well. Bradford is the town that gets mixed up with Bradford all the time. As soon as I tell people I'm from Bradford, they're like, oh, Wayne Gretzky's town. No, that's Brantford. That's Brantford. Bradford, we don't have that many. Well, we have hockey players. Got a couple good ones coming up. I'll tell you that well. From Innisfil. In Innisfil, Ontario, Carol Ann, you know it. Innisfil's gotten a ton of snow as well out there. We got Lisa that's sharing with us this evening, just saying Frankie Flower is amazing, having so much knowledge. Love that you are spreading your knowledge. It's really good. I love it. That's out here as well. Oh, Sally. Sally has an opinion about portulaca. Portulaca is underrated. LMO. Okay. Portulaca Also, purslane is from the same family as portulaca. Portulaca is if we have a hot, dry summer, and if you're looking for an annual, sometimes that will reseed itself. That does well in those hot, dry, sunny conditions. Portulaca is fantastic, unless if it's a rainy day, portulaca will close. If it's night, portulaca closes. So portulaca is a fantastic plant that does it super well overall. Purslane is also a weed, by the way, and that's portulaca can go and overtake some areas as well. But portulaca, if we do have a rainy season, sometimes you don't see a lot of the flowers. So portulaca is one of those ones that when it's a sunny, dry day, I love. If it's a cloudy, rainy day, I'm like, I don't really like it. So is it underrated, overrated? Depends on its use overall. Mary Stewart's bringing a really good example here. Plant sales at local garden groups. You're also supporting that local garden group, getting some great deals. At the same time, when you go to these local garden groups, they're in your area. You can gain some knowledge, also know what's growing well in your area. It's a great way to do things as well. Debbie says, hey, Frankie, I have a poinsettia, still thriving. Can I keep it to next year? Absolutely. Poinsettias are basically a Mexican weed. They are one that blooms based on, well, colors, not blooms, colors based on the shortness of daylight hours. Well, my recommendation for you to do now is to keep it in a fairly bright room. I would water it only when dry. And then when frost warnings are done outside in late May, I put it outdoors. And then right around mid to late June, I would actually pinch it back to half its size. Then in late September, I would bring it inside into the home before we have frost. Put it in a room that has a window, but you don't go in that room. That way it's going to get natural daylight and darkness. And as the daylight shortens in that room, because what'll happen is as days get shorter, closer to Christmas, it'll start to color. If it's in a room that actually you turn the light on, it won't color for you. It won't go to the red, the purple, forgive me, the red, the pinks, the whites. So, but the reason why we want to pinch it mid-season, if not, it'll get really tall and lanky. By pinching it out, it'll actually bush it out and make it a nice big plant. And over time, it'll be a big plant. You can actually, if you want to focus down to just one of the plants, you can start pinching out the bottom leaves and start developing it into a poinsettia tree over time as well. This is so interesting, what everybody wants. I try. I don't know if it is, but I thank you if it is. Hi from Icy Stoville. Yes, indeed. I will tell you I went out and put down, so just to let you know, if you guys are doing any salting, so salt is the most affordable way for us to make sure that we don't have ice in our front yards. And front yards, backyards, key is safety of humans. That's the key. The only thing about salt is that some salts in the calcium can actually pit into the not only to your stonework, so your interlock can actually cause damage to concrete, but also too much salt can actually cause damage to to plants. So some plants out there, if you're looking for salt that you see are plant safe, or even salts that are pet safe or de-icers, they're not actually salts, they're de-icers that are plant safe and pet safe. They're more of a base of urea, so more of almost like a fertilizer base. So just think about that before you go out there and salt as well. We got Happy New Year's to you and your family. We also got another one out there from Sherry. I really got into gardening this summer and watched you a lot. Thanks. Hey, I'm going to continue to put lots of content out on my Instagram, on, of course, here on Facebook. Check out frankieflowers.com. Sign up for the newsletter. I'll have a new newsletter coming out in just a couple weeks' time. I fell a little bit behind on that as well. I battled from a flu as well. So, hey guys, we're at a half an hour, and that's my promise to you. I'm going to be here for a half an hour each and every Tuesday evening. I hope this served you. I'm sorry that I didn't get out to all the different questions out there, and I'm looking that there's a lot out there as well. And I just want to give a shout out to one of the biggest viewers that's always supported me as well as Paula Polly. Welcome back, and thank you as well, Paula. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Final thought. Final thought. We are all seeds, all of us. So every human being out there is just a seed. We're full of potential. And if we're nurtured right, we're given the right amount of light, the amount of love and care and attention, we can flourish to anything. So make sure as you go out there in this crazy, wild, and wicked world that you actually give the energy and support to allow those around you to flourish and bloom. That's my final thought. Have a wonderful